be a world-class Tracer and to play against as a DPS player, because just kind of like put yourself in the player at home. Let's say you're playing, the 76 or McCree. It's like you have to look up and contest the Pharah, but then like not even on your screen, visual to you is the Tracer putting down damage. You look down at the Tracer and you're just getting pelted with the rockets in the sky.
The Tracer's behind you. This is what we were saying yesterday. It's what happened to Shanghai more often than not, is that Undead was trying to deal with an enemy Pharah on this very map on defense, and then there's a Tracer behind him just loading into him. It can be very, very hard to deal with that. But this could be amazing. Fraggy was known as possibly the best Reinhardt in Europe. Recently reinforced, of course, an Overwatch analyst came out and said he was very afraid of going up against Fraggy, an incredibly aggressive player on this Reinhardt. This is something special that you're probably only going to see from Philadelphia.
Would be interesting to see Poco play the Zarya here, knowing that there's most likely a Junkrat on the other side. Zarya and Ryan combo really well. With Zarya's shields, you can build up a ton of energy, then start to do a lot of damage. So we're going to lead the way here with Fraggy on the Reinhardt.
Just walking in
and get around the corner. Shadowburn playing the 76 as well. Usually you see like hit scan duties kind of go over to Carpe. See what Shadowburn can get done on 76.
Fraggy trying to conserve the power of that barrier there as well and keep it alive. It's only 2,000 damage worth. And now with Carpe going down early, he walked into a trap. Again, he's got to look down sometimes. This is going to force Fraggy out. So Philadelphia was setting up, but it's kind of slow roll aggression, but losing Carpe means I have to pull the plug early.
With such a great choke point at the front, especially with Junkrat on your team, I'd love to see Houston play a little bit more aggressive, not let that Ryan just walk on in there. I feel like if you give that much space up to Philadelphia going to make some changes, bring Shadowburn in on Genji and Fraggy in playing Winston. You give up that much space, I feel like Philly is going to break it somehow.
Philly didn't like the comp from the Outlaws. They've switched up now to a bit more of a classic dive composition. Already Fraggy's wasted no time in getting in. Carpe's found Raucus and Jake is down. This is what Philly do best by the looks of things. Lynx is trying for a Deadeye, but no one's really interested in the light show. He's going to get cut down. Poco's there on the point, pressuring in with the micro rockets. A Coolmat's mech to fall. Love this from Philadelphia. They see there's a problem with their comp. They change it, they come in, they smash your fight out, and they take the first point.
Yeah, they open things up with their own Valkyrie to lead on in, and it forces Houston to back on up into that little house. And once you get in there, I mean, that's where Tracer and Genji can do a ton of their damage in those close quarter areas.
Shadowburn now looking to probably climb up the parapet here and find one of those backliners, but with Neptuno already falling to a wayward mind from Jake. Just Junkrat things, people. It's just the world we live in right now. They have to go again. Philadelphia just going to have to reset. Shadowburn, again, opting not to allow Boombox. Boombox already had ultimate, so it didn't matter that he took the health factor. Normally you want to give ultimate percent to your supports when you can, but Shadowburn didn't have the time to waste. He wants to get back in the fray.
Linkser can be a dominating force for Houston here on the McCree. Get up towards the high ground. They'll put down a ton of damage, force the flankers to try and come on up. It's been Jake, though, who's opened up the last few fights with no first bloods. He's able to get a kill on a Neptuno in the last fight. At this time, uses the Riptire, takes Fraggy out. It'll be Neptuno bringing Fraggy up into the fight. We actually see Muma, fall off the map. Just gotta wonder where he was positioned, where that happened. Now after that, things start to go in favor of Philly. I would love to know what happened with Muma this week.
Yeah, I mean, and then you see the Junkrat play from Jake. You ride the lightning as a Junkrat player quite often. You really just got to try and go. We'll see if we can get a look at what happened there, but the fact of the matter is that Philadelphia are bearing forward. They're going to have 5 ultimates in this next fight, man, which is going to be just so huge. And on this bridge is a very dangerous place to get Diva ulted.
See a lot of big Diva ults go down. The self-destructs on the bridge. Take a look at this replay here. Frank, jump on up here. The self-destruct comes on through, connects with Linkser. See the fight happening on the bottom of your screen here as we get right back into game. Jake takes out Carpe at the beginning. Payload in such a difficult spot to keep advancing it here. You see the self-destruct come on through, and that's what we were talking about. Neptuno, though, with the Valkyrie, brings Boombox right up into the fight because you need that Transcendence now. It doesn't really matter, though. Look at the damage that Jake is able to put down here on Junkrat.
Right, so Transcendence ticks healing per second, but huge burst damage from that mine, 125 if I'm not mistaken, can cut through it if you time it properly. So Jake was able to find a couple kills there. Boombox had a really tough time giving that healing to the rest of his team. Now Philadelphia Fusion have to reset. They've lost a lot of those ultimates that they had to work into the next fight with. I'd be interested to see how Linkser wants to set up in this fight. He wants to try and get into a position where a flanking Deadeye could be really nasty and end the fight, but also doing so would make him vulnerable. He can't be too much of a lone wolf as much as he is a cowboy.
Boombox opens things up with a big kill there on Abani, and it's going to be the Deadeye that came in from Linkser. He's not able to get anything with it. Raucus uses a Transcendence there. You say, okay, here comes the Dragon Blade. Shadowburn's dead. Not going to have it here. this moment in time. Maybe you come back in the next fight, you know you have it, but it's going to be a big res from Neptuno, bringing Shadowburn right back up. Then he uses the Dragon Blade, cuts through 3 members of the Houston Outlaws, doing a lot of damage to Muma. Muma's going to back up, but it will be Philadelphia taking our second point.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragon Blade came out from Shadowburn. He got rezzed into a situation where Raucus didn't have Transcendence. Raucus already used it. So Shadowburn doesn't mind getting killed before using the blade, or if he can come back against a 0 trance opposition.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit before, but it's such a hard spot for Linkser to play the McCree, because if you get up on the high ground, you separate yourself from the rest of your team, and then you're an easy target for a Genji or a Tracer. So you see now he's going to still stick with the McCree here as we go towards the end, but this is where Jake can make much more of a...
Oh! Poco's got a button on his desk and bigger than yours! 3 kills come out there, and again, he's going to break open yet another fight with that one. Beautiful way to open this one. It may not be a game ender, but it's definitely going to put Houston straight back on the back foot. Neptuno kills both of the kills that occurred on his team. Poco with a 4th, by the way. This guy's insane. I hope you now remember this name. They're going to make their way forward. Last push here for the Fusion.
You do have Valkyrie, though, for the Outlaws. You have your Transcendence in a Riptire. It'll be Bonnie using the Valkyrie, trying to keep the members of Houston alive. It looks like Philly's going to back out here. Just wait till this Valkyrie wears out, but it was so funny. Like, oh, Jake, this is where Jake makes an impact, and then we see a 3
I just see a Meg fly across the screen, and a part of me knew, from what we've seen already, statistically at least, that Poco was about to bash some heads in.
We've seen one other 3K from Poco with the self-destruct. And you say statistically it's likely?
Statistically?
I'd love to know what stats you have.
There's actually no statistical basis for that statement. However, Shadowburn has a Dragon Blade. Poco's not far away from yet another self-destruct here, but Philadelphia getting caught up a little bit here. You can see from Shadowburn's perspective, his teammates are kind of split out. He's trying to help his teammate with dealing with Linkser, but Linkser's not going to flash straight into the Genji. He gets himself 2. There's a chance here for the Outlaws to stabilize.
You will have both support ultimates, though, for Philadelphia. Boombox gets the Transcendence. You're going to get a Valkyrie here going into the next fight. Raucus with the Transcendence. It's kind of been like the story of a lot of these games. Raucus with the Transcendence versus Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade. See here via our instant replay, the self-destruct comes in. Oh,
they ran for the hills
right around the corner.
They ran for the hills. They couldn't quite get to the bunker in time. They probably thought they were safe there. That was so clever.
They thought they were behind the pole, that little pole there, and it actually probably just clips the other side. Let's see if Poco can get another one. Not able to get anything this time. So we see the Transcendence forced out here from Boombox. They're actually going to layer their support ults. They have the Valkyrie and the Transcendence going at the same time here for Philadelphia.
Poco's just going to pull out for now, but Shadowburn getting that kill on Coolmat. This should be the starter's pistol now for Philadelphia to go for another fight again. Shadowburn is quite the tip of the spear, and he's going to get himself 4 kills to pressure in. Again, we've been here before with Philadelphia. They're not quite towards the end, but now it's going to have to be 1 by 1 from Houston. Desperate stall is all they got left. Coolmat's the first in, but he seems to be disregarded. Shadowburn was looking for the squishy targets in the back. Jake is down, but now back. Coolmat has no suit to be working with at all, with Linkser dropping, and Poco's up on the payload, looking proud as all heck. Banning forced to drop in to res Linkser up, and that was desperate to keep the Tracer in the fight. Jake goes down again. The farmer becomes the farmie. And we'll see if Shadowburn can stay alive to pressure more into this. There's a self-destruct here for Poco. This could be big.
Bonnie getting the Valkyrie here was huge for Houston. See, they'll bring 2 members back into the fight. They were that shield, the Riptire. See here, Fraggy putting down some damage, contesting the payload. Only 18 seconds left here for Philly. It's really do or die. They can't back out, can't reset. They have to push the payload to the end now.
10 seconds, yeah, exactly. They don't have time for any of that stuff. And when it seemed like the Fusion were going to be the ones pressuring in, it would be forcing stall. Now it's them that had to go desperately. Carpe hops above. It could be a pulse bomb. It could be big, but he's stuck it to the payload. Doesn't connect with the target. The Transcendence is going to time out. There's no healing available for the Fusion. Carpe needs to find the mercy. He does it. Nicely done. Link's trying to avoid Carpe, who's desperately looking for those Tracer picks. Link's recall is forced. Cormat desuited, but goes for the self-destruct. And Shadowburn wants the Dragon Blade. Who's he got? You better believe he's already found one. Cormat to 4, looking for Jake, but he's very, very well protected behind the healthy body of the Primal Rage Winston. Shadowburn now, surely with opportunity. Muma gets dashed through. Poco's there. The damage has been good, but Bunny, another res. Will it be enough?
The Shadowburn Dragon Blade there on the cool mat was sick. It'll be Shadowburn picking up some kills. The cleanup should go to Philadelphia here. Getting very close. Neptuno will use the Valkyrie, and that should be enough to put it away. Philadelphia will complete the map. No time left in the time bank, but Shadowburn just sitting behind the payload when that self-destruct is going up on top of it. As soon as it goes out, he pulls out the Dragon Blade, goes right through Cool Mat before he gets right back in his mech. That is such a perfectly timed play there from Shadowburn.
Again, having a DPS duo that has so much time together seems to be working out beautifully for the Fusion here. They've got a lot of synergy, they know what they need to be doing, but again, when the game gets to this kind of state, when you're fighting over just trying to push towards the end of the map, sometimes it's just use ultimates as soon as you get them, do what you can just to try and vaporize the enemy.
It's interesting because a lot of the teams in the Overwatch League were made up of what, let's say, full teams that got picked up, or like Houston, where you have a tank duo and a support duo, you come on in. Philadelphia is just, let's just get a bunch of talented guys, put them together and see how it works out with some of the core of FaZe Clan, but I think when you have a DPS duo that are
Sound
that
barrier
good,
cancelled. That's so big. And we didn't get to see that. Rourke is obviously not normally on the at Lucio. People with Bunny on the Mercy, perhaps they fancied a bit more speed to try and get people out onto the point. Losing the sound barrier there, that's huge. Shadowburn shut down what could have been Houston's way in fighting back and actually holding the last one.
so let's see what Philly does on defense, because they could have Fraggy play the Reinhardt here at the beginning. Maybe you see Poco come out with a Zarya. Looks like you'll see the Reinhardt. You'll not see the Zarya, so Poco will be playing Diva.
So Fraggy's the kind of guy who insisted that the Finnish World Cup play attacking Reinhardt and Numbani, which for those at home is generally a really bad idea.
He's an extremely aggressive Ryan as
he
well.
just gets in your face. He just gets mad ultimate charge from swinging the hammer all day.
He plays Ryan like Monty plays Ryan. The attack Ryan. Like I don't trust any of my teammates to do damage. I'm going to select Reinhardt and I'm going to do a ton of damage, kill people.
If I had a dollar for every time Monty told me he had a gold medal for damage, I'd have $50. I'd at least get some Shake Shack up.
Which is kind of sad because most likely you're playing the McCree and you don't have anything.
What do you mean? I just motor people.
Yeah.
I'm like Puckett in the this is how we do it in Burbank. That's kind of what I do during the game. Anyway,
Mitch is the ultimate DPS leader, by the way.
I get damage done. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You're the passive-aggressive one who complains when people are like, getting kills like Linkser is, though. That's me right there, I'm not gonna lie. Shadowburn down, the headshot does connect, and Houston have already got 2 picks that have not been rezzed out yet. Neptuno falling, that's bad news for the Fusion. They're running out of gas here, but Poco knows he needs to make a play. He pressures forward, he gets shaken down with the micro rockets, but Houston do have a Mercy. They do have the resurrectability, so they have the numbers and momentum going forward.
You have some respawners coming in here for Philadelphia, but they lose both their tanks towards the end of the fight. Shadowburn comes up. You're going to have Draggy coming right back into the action. Carpe is actually still all the way by the Houston spawn here, just trying to spawn kill Ash Tracer, hoping the rest of his teammates get back towards the point. There you see Jake take Carpe out all the way in the back. Probably not going to work out here for Philadelphia. They'll be Houston taking point A very quick.
So it's like Carpe steps off the point voluntarily to go to the attacker's spawn to try and prevent them from having resources, but then he gets taken down by Jake. So not only is he not helping his team defend, he gets picked off by the Junkrat as he spawns in. Well, that's like the nightmare situation.
It works if there's like a support back there, right? Like if he was spawn killing like the Zenyatta or the Mercy, like I can kind of see that, like how maybe then it forces some players for Houston to go back towards the spawn and help them out. But he's going one-on-one against his Junkrat, which he probably didn't want us to see that.
Admiral Akbar would be so proud right now. So proud. All right, Transcendence over that point, so the Outlaws decided to pressure in for this one, hoping that Philadelphia would fight them on the point. They have the Transcendence. Oh, Linkser! How does he find those? The flick potential is incredible. Carpe's going to be hastily brought back into the fight, but Linkser's got bigger fish to fry, or Mox, whichever one you prefer. Again, the flash comes out. Carpe seems to be ready for it, though. He recalls out of the McCree's way, and this is what you do. Get up in the Gunslinger's face. Force the error, but all the resources the Fusion committed to dealing with the McCree. The Outlaws have had the rest of their team with so much freedom, so much space. And they've won that fight comfortably.
You're Philadelphia. What do you do going into the next fight? You have no ultimates. You're getting over towards the bridge. It's that wide open area. Linkser has a Deadeye to use if he gets towards the high ground. Jake with the Riptire. I guess you're saving grace here if you're Philadelphia, as you know there's no support ultimates on the side of the Houston Outlaws. You're going to get closer towards a Dragon Blade and a Pulse Bomb.
Riptire for Jake. It's going to be a self-destruct coming in over the top. That was from Poco. No one's there to be caught by it. Jake was far enough from the epicenter of the explosion to not take full damage. But he had to be very careful. He saw Carpe, with him at less than 100 HP, he's an easy target for Carpe. Oh, we get him with a trap again. Carpe, look at your feet, son. His shoes are untied as well while you're at it. And now Jake has the chance to make this one hurt. This is a different angle, but he sees Poco drop down. He catches him. Jake with 2 kills. The rest of Philadelphia fighting off the point because Jake is taking up so much of their attention.
It's going to be Bonnie getting a Valkyrie. Raucus going to get a Transcendence here. So you get the support ultimates online for Houston.
Just a moat match.
So look at this.
Do it.
Cool match, just taking up space, not allowing the players to get through top. It's going to be, you see Muma there on your screen, pushing on forward with that Primal Rage. Coolmat now going to drop down, try and put some damage as the players come out from that bottom door for Philadelphia.
This is insane. Coolmat doesn't even, go for a self-destruct. He knows if he gets knocked out, he has a chance. But now he's really stepping up. What a pleasure to see this man start to perform.
There's been no defense from Philadelphia thus far. I mean, right there, they don't have a ton to work with, like coming out, but at least try and get out to the point, force, some of those bigger ultimates out from Houston. Houston still holds on to the self-destruct. They're going to have another Riptire. You're going to have Deadeye.
Self-destruct in Coolmat now. Oh no, it's caught the top of the banister. It's not going to get into the position he wants. That's a mistake that you can't really afford to have here, but there are other resources up Houston's sleeve. Self-destruct from Poker now, trying to do one better. Oh, it's going to get two! So much with Poker, it seems like his opponents don't expect to get blown up, and then they just get decimated.
And that's huge because it buys Philadelphia some time because they switch off of the Winston. You have Fraggy go and play Ryan. If you switch Shadowburn up, he's going to play Junkrat. Carpe goes to McCree, so you're resetting the ultimates on a few players there. That double kill with the self-destruct forces Houston to back out. Some more time for those other players to put down some damage, build up on their ultimates.
Right, so often we see self-destructs placed on corners here. Poco, he's nailed that one, hasn't he? People are trying to back away. Linkson was behind it. Raucus was off to the right-hand side. Buys a stay of execution, a breath of fresh air for the fusion we definitely needed at this stage. Fraggy, I surmise, is out of position there. He's getting supported here. Poco switched to his famous Zaya, but Fraggy might not get out alive. Just. That Juno sticks from with the Caduceus staff healings there. Now the Transcendence for the fusion. They're going to try and make a stand here, and now Outlaws are more than happy just to disengage.
Maybe you see the Riptire come out here soon from Jake. You have a lot of players grouped up. It's going to be the Transcendence that comes out from Raucus. Linkser takes out the Riptire from Shadowburn. Now it's going to be the Riptire coming out from Jake.
Oh, it was in close quarters, but it gets picked off. Fraggy hits him with a Fire Strike. Carpe's also found Jake, and you can see that Fraggy just gets charged out of the way. Carpe on the ground, finds the pick on towards Jake, and he's going to get rezzed up pretty quickly. Watch the Junkrat on the payload. It's important. Poker's going to pressure him. He needs to step back. Moving now on the Orisa. Throws that shield up, and you can see how desperately Banny's trying to keep his team healed up. It's hard. Raucus is felled by a headshot from Boombox. There's NVZ action. That's what we'd like to see. And Lynx is looking for a Deadeye, hoping to herd people into a space they can't escape from. With Shadowbird down, oh, that's not where you want to be! Lynxer, more than happy to greet the Zenyatta at close quarters.
Here comes the Deadeye from Lynxer. We'll see if he can connect with anything. It'll be Fraggy taking out Jake. He's going to be able to take out Poco there with the Deadeye. It's going to be Houston working towards finishing the map with a tremendous time. Coolmat takes out Neptuno there with the Deadeye, so don't have the healing provided by Mercy. Fraggy getting very low as well. Things looking great for Houston as they will complete the map. A ton of time left for the Outlaws.
A fifth map is looming. I think there can be no doubt about that at this stage. Houston have woken up. Let's go, Outlaws fans. 1 minute 51 on the clock for them. So, 2 minutes to kind of, well, get the first tick on the point. Obviously, this is a hybrid escort type game type, so all they really need to do is get 33%, and they're good. Philadelphia don't have a chance to attack again themselves because they don't have any time left in their bank. They finished in overtime, so they forfeit their opportunity to try and do that. So, the ball is entirely in the Outlaws' court here. They are the orchestrators and architects of their own destiny, and all they need is a very strong attack to begin this with. And remember, we've seen a bit of this Reinhardt, a bit of this Zarya look here from the Fusion. I don't know if I really rate it on that last point. Fraggy had a little bit of difficulty getting caught out of position and so on and so forth.
I think with him on the Reinhardt, it's going to be different for this team to play around because he's so aggressive on the Ryan. You're usually used to the Ryan playing a little bit more passive. When he gets in that deep, he probably expects, the guys who are usually pretty aggressive, Carpe and Shadowburn, to follow it up. But usually playing with a Ryan, you're not as aggressive. So Shadowburn will play Pharah here on defense. Seems to be the only change from the side of the Fusion lineup coming in here on D.
I guess Fraggy's not really shielding his DPS then here. Oh, it's not really the point.
I guess what is the function of Ryan in this comp, right? Because Ryan, you usually play the Reinhardt, you have players play behind the Reinhardt shield. Carpe on Tracer is going to be moving around the map, flanking a ton. Shadowburn obviously on Pharah is going to be in the sky. So who are you protecting as the Reinhardt?
Well, your backline obviously is very important. Of course, there's going to be a risk that you get pressured out. Plus, the problem is this Junkrat McCree comp is going to break that Ryan shield very fast. Fraggy's going to be often forced to just get out of harm's way and give up ground. That's not good. Losing your Mercy so early on. Neptuno's fallen now. Shadowburn needs to make up for this deficit. They're lacking that main healer. He needs to get rid of some of these DPSs to even up the ledger a little bit more. Lisa was res back up. Shadowburn down. Jake gets a little bit creative. A steeplechase with the tire. Shadow had no idea what hit him.
And you're gonna have Valkyrie come in for the Houston Outlaws. Things are falling apart for the Fusion. He links her with Deadeye, but you only need that one tick. Houston will get it. They will take map number 4, Eigenvault.
Hands up, questions being asked, I'm sure, as the Outlaws are deciding the way forward. In the event that we have a 2-2, we get ourselves a final map. Lijiang Tower will be played, and that will be the decider for this series. The points matter, of course, in these head-to-heads, win or lose in a series. We need to get a clear winner here, and I'm already seeing some substitutions. It looks like, yes, support players are going to get mixed up a little.
Yeah, most likely you'll see Boink come in for the Houston Outlaws. You can play Lucio. On our 5th and final map, it'll be Control, it'll be Lijiang Tower.
After the break, it'll be. We'll see you in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel and Omen by HP.
Weapon system on.
This is what we wanted, and this is kind of what we deserve as well, ladies and gentlemen. A 5th map here in our 2nd match of the day. Oh yes, Houston Outlaws, Philadelphia Fusion on their maiden voyage here in the seas of the Blizzard Arena, taking us all the way. Lijiang Tower is going to be an absolute rip snorter, mate.
This will be a great map to see these teams play. See Spree come in for the Houston Outlaws. He'll come in for Cool Matt. What tells me this is you're going to see Zarya and Reinhardt most likely, and now for Philadelphia Fusion, they won't be making any sense. Boink comes in here, he's going to play Lucio, but now you can have the tank line of Philadelphia play something they're a little bit more comfortable with, right? They can have Fraggy on the Reinhardt, Poco can play the Zarya. You'll most likely see the other side of things play the Rein and Zarya as well.
I'm excited for this. I generally am. We saw a little bit of Fraggy's Reinhardt in the previous map, but we found it a little bit questionable. Perhaps, you know, on defense for that first point, we wondered why we see a Reinhardt with the Pharah and the Tracer pick. Perhaps it's something that, again, you know, a point of holding the choke, use the Pharah to get that splash damage there, make it costly again. Yeah. Or it could just be, honestly, a comfort pick, really, for Fraggy just to come in and go with that one. But here's a map where it would make a lot of sense, especially on this first stage. I'm pretty sure we're jumping headfirst in the control center, which is Reinhardt, Xayah, Junkrat, McCree, Heaven. This is what I want to see.
Well, if you remember back when we saw a lot of Doomfist, you kind of had Reinhardt, Zarya, Doomfist on this map, and you know, you just have a lot of just one-hit kill potential with Doomfist when they make some adjustments to Doomfist, and then Junkrat gets the buff. Junkrat just kind of slides into the Doomfist role of the burst damage in this lineup. And we see a lot of Reinhardt-Zarya combinations here. Lijiang Tower will decide it all. Potentially you see Moira here, because Moira, you know, obviously she's puts out a lot of healing, she can do a decent amount of damage, but a lot of it comes from like her damage orbs and her healing orbs. If you know that there's no D.Va in the equation, Moira becomes a more reasonable option.
That's exactly right. I mean, D.Va with one right click can shut down the vast majority of Moira's impact on a game. The biotic orbs are very easy to detect and also to negate if you use that defense matrix. So that's why we're excited about this one. Like I said, we actually have the Reinhardt, we have the Xayah, we actually have triple tank for Philadelphia Fusion here. They're going to bring Poco on that D.Va. You've got 2 6 Xayah players on that team. Shadowburn is very capable. This is fun. Lots of McCree action as well. Junkrat's going to be in the mix here for Houston. So 2 very subtly different compositions. Let's see how they interact.
And no Lucio for the side of Philly. They used a speed boost at the beginning, but they're going to have Neptuno switch over to Mercy. So potentially with this triple tank lineup, you get a ton of damage coming down right from Houston, Jake specifically playing the Junkrat. But Philly should be able to get a lot of healing build up the Valkyrie.
What? He already has
an Earth Shatter. How the hell does that happen? Just basically once the game's begun.
I mean, he didn't get much with it, right? It's just genuinely astounded by the fact that he manages to pull that up so quickly. The fusion off the back of Fraggy swinging hammer, as it were. It's right up in the face of the Outlaws. And again, no big kills there, but this is now when you've got more of a tank-dominated game. Sometimes it's very much more of a war of attrition. It's slower. I direct you guys to look more at the health bars at the top of the screen. That's going to give you a good indication about who's trading damage more effectively as opposed to healing. There's a coalescence here for Raucus. He's going to let it go. Bit of Goku action here on the point now. Damaging enemies, healing allies. And you can see that Poco's going to be forced just to try and stay above it.
Neptuno uses his Valkyrie, so you bring both players back into the equation that did fall. Going to be the Deadeye that comes in from Linkser, not able to get much of anything. The grab already down here from Shadowburn. It's going to be few kills picked up here by Philadelphia. They're still in control of the point. Houston was so close to flipping it, not able to do so. Coming into the next fight, Houston, you will have a sound barrier, you'll have your grab, you'll have a Riptire as well. That Graviton Surge plus Riptire combo could be devastating.
A lot in the toolkit for the Outlaws. And they're going to have to use it pretty soon. This is the kind of map that can get away from you very fast. If you're going to lose the first fight, try and lose it quick. Try and come back for the second fight. A, not having given the enemy too many ultimates, and B, still having some time in the clock. Jake, nothing you can do about that one. Carpe just plinking away from his little plinth up on high. He's 63% in terms of ultimate, but that self-destruct's not going to find too much. Another coalescence already from Raucus. Huge impact in the fight as Moira. Spree, Carpe saw him coming, but it's not going to matter. He's going to head over the edge, and Boink has his moment. Carpe sleeps with the fishes now. Get it? It's going to be a Riptire in from Jake. Transcendence won't be able to protect the Fusion against that.
Fusion, though, still on the point, building up percentage up to 83 and counting. The rest of these kills going in favor of the Outlaws. Fraggy able to take out Spree. Raucus, you see how low he is on healing resources. Needs to put down some damage, be able to provide more healing as Moira. Spraggy has done an excellent job along with Poco stalling this out, but Philly may get up to 99% on the point, which they do.
Carpe goes for the Deadeye. It's probably more just to keep the enemy team away right now. He doesn't fight anything though. The Outlaws still maintain control of the point. Good Graviton though. Shadowburn finds himself too. Linkser and Boink are down. Jake's trying to get up behind Shadowburn and use the Shield of Milma, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Poco already managed to locate Raucus and deal with him. And you can see that Shadowburn is so well charged. 90% up on that one. He's dishing so much damage. And again, the classic control map problem seems to be back to haunt the Outlaws. Again, we go to a control map. Again, they fail to post any percentage on the board. Not looking like the same team that have in other map types.
One of the bigger differences on that point as well is that Philly is running Mercy. Houston They do not have Mercy. They're running with Moira Lucio. I remember at one point, Fraggy actually earth-shattered some of the members of Houston, and they're forced to just use a sound barrier to keep those players on the ground alive, whereas Philly, when those kills come down, they just use the Valkyrie, they res them on up, the fights just get extended longer and longer and longer, and they're able to build up the Valkyrie so often because you had that triple tank lineup.
It's time for a different change. Change of pace, at least for the Fusion now. You thought that was fast, you thought that was chaotic. How about we go back towards our dive composition here for the Fusion?
I think on the side of the Houston Outlaws, the person you're looking at in this combo is going to be Spree, because primarily known as a fantastic Zarya player.
He doesn't like playing Diva, by the way.
Yes.
He prefers not to, is more accurate.
And let's see how his Diva, he's really going to be relied on to protect the supports, right? Let's see if he feels at the right time and gives them that support they need.
Shadowburn manages to find Links, which is always a dangerous task to try and go in and deal with an enemy McCree. He gets out life. Jake. Oh, yes! More than one Australian causing problems here at the Blizzard Arena. 2 kills for the Junkrat, plus the D-suit, the mine coming in. There's just a lot of damage there.
You see Fraggy here in the back, trying to stay alive. Now the rest of his members following you. Imagine he just kind of goes off the side here, does not want to give up some ult charge. He still has Shadowburn here with him though. Maybe they think they can turn this around. As Shadowburn goes through one, Poco takes out both supports here, and somehow Philly has turned this in their favor. Just when you think they're out of it, they jump right back in. Only 3 members alive there for Philadelphia after things are looking good for Houston.
They have the tools, Houston, to retake this point. Almost 4 ultimates, so Philadelphia probably aware of this, so they can force any of those key ultimates out sort of earlier on in the fight or before the Outlaws can actually take up position on the point. That would be ideal. Dragonblade might be the drop for that one. He's looking for the backline. He's forced the trans. That's okay. He was looking for that. With Carpe going down, now Shadowburn's kind of on his own. Lixa gets too close. Poco was there to help Shadowburn. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Both teams using Transcendence in this fight. The Riptile, where are we headed with it? Jake doesn't quite know. He's looking for a softer target, but he actually finds very little. Neptuno gets the kill on Jake while he was channeling that ability. The Caduceus Blaster paying off quite well. And now over the point, it's a bit of a do-si-do. It's the Houston Outlaws, though, that come out in front for now. Going to be the Valkyrie use. Lynx is going to be very careful. Neptuno gets another kill in that fight. The man in the Battle Mercy. What is going on, Neptuno? Calm your farm. Will it be the difference, though? Remains to be seen. A couple of big kills from that Mercy. All right. I can't even cast this seriously anymore. Boombox is going to be pressured down. There's not much he can do. The Matrix is in his way. Jake's fallen to Carpe. Moving now, constantly getting healing, but Boink gets caught out. Carpe now is back, and he's Bean's business.
Somehow through all of this, I was going to say, Neptuno is able to stay alive just until now. He finally falls, but some huge healing coming down from the Mercy on the Philadelphia Fusion. Some kills as well, which we rarely ever see, and it's helped extend this point. Philly still in control of this, building up percentage.
Dash in there, and Houston, again, finally get the point, but look at what they had to spend for it. They went through 2 Transcendences throughout the course of that fight. And neither of them actually were really used at the best time. First, it was drawn out of Raucus, he had no choice. Secondly, it was at the end of an already won fight.
Philly's going to have a huge advantage in this next fight. You're going to have Transcendence, Pulse Bomb, most likely a Dragon Blade, and they actually connect with the Pulse Bomb onto Muma. That forces Primal Rage out just to stay alive.
Lixa close to a Dragon Blade of his own. That Transcendence is going to be so crucial. I think you pointed that already, Matt. Micro Rocket for Poco just wants to get a little bit of extra damage, so he has that self-destruct. This may be a big fight. Shadowbird, Dragon Blade in again. Vertically, he dives down, and he's found Raucus already. The Transcendence now to be used. Raucus didn't even have an ultimate, but still, the Zenyatta healing not being there is important. Linksa, it's a bit late to go for the Blade. He does get a kill, but Boombox cuts him down in the meantime. Boink desperately tries to bring him back up, but we're on board with Shadowbird, who's been free for most of this fight. Looking for his opposite Genji. A lot of that damage being reflected back, and Jake's going to deal with him with the mine.
Boink just able to get those double reses using the Valkyrie. You have Jake use the Riptire, and Houston able to hold up onto the point. So 55% and counting for the Outlaws. Most likely get a Transcendence here for Houston. You're going to have Valkyrie on the side of Philly. It's such a huge ultimate ability to be able to use, and they're going to engage with it.
Okay, let's see if this works. Use it at the start of the fight here, of course, more for the healing early on than the resurrects. Jake goes down, Pulse Bomb connects for Carpe, and Poco's now found one with Spree. 2 ultimates, 2 kills for the Fusion so far. Poco's brought back, and the Fusion is still at 6 men in total, but they're still tickling the point. They've mostly got the control. It looks like Boink. Ooh, interesting play there. The Mercy goes for that resurrect, doesn't complete it. It gets cut down, Lynx is staggered ever so slightly. And this might be the last chance for the Outlaws to really get control properly here.
Where a lot of teams have kind of used Valkyrie, towards the end of a fight or once they have 1 or 2 members fall, Philly throughout this series has used their Valkyrie to engage, almost like you would have used a Soundbarrier in the past to engage speed on in. They use that Valkyrie to get the healing and have the double res and just play so close. Carpe looking for both supports here of Houston. It would be huge. Oh, they get Raucus before he can even use the Transcendence. That's a massive kill, and they get Boink as well.
The back may be broken for the Outlaws here. Transcendence for the fight for Boombox. Once again, he gets to use what Raucus has to look on from the sidelines in dismay. Shadowburn now to dismantle. It's like a Jenga tower coming down for the Outlaws. One block at a time. Desperation, of course, for Lynx are on the point, but you know what? It's just going to be a little bit too little too late. Raucus gets there with the aforementioned Transcendence, finally gets to use it, but no one's there to see how fabulous he looks. There it is, the fusion get it done. Welcome to the Overwatch League. We're lucky to have you.
It's a big win for Philadelphia. We're not here during the preseason, their first match.